Hey everyone out there watching. This is our June 18th, 2024 Fish Journal entry. I know we missed the first of this month and I'm 2 days late on the 16th. We had some issues happen with work and we had to change our jobs and we've just had a lot going on. But without further ado, the show must go on and we're going to get right back on track. I'm not sure if the furniture was in this room on the last entry. Like I said, it's been a while, but we're loving the new furniture. I think it was. Let's start over on these tanks. One of the big important changes we made over here is we secured these stands. They are their Imagination or Imagiquarium or something like that. These stands are really cheap at the commercial, hey Boots, big box store. They're spec'd to hold a 75, 90, or 110. We've got 75s on them. They're holding it fine, but they were very wobbly and made me really nervous. So, as you can see back there and over there, I got industrial L brackets and welded them on to the stand with JB Weld and slapped them in studs, and where there wasn't a stud, put toggle anchors in the wall. And it is, I mean, I know it's hard to see in the video, but this thing was wobbly before. It does not move now at all, which makes me feel a lot better about the stands. That big, there's a big change. They're super, like we could grab the tank, we would use the magnet, it would wobble, and I was like, that makes me really nervous. They are solid as a rock now. A lot of the guys on MFK were talking to me about these stands and how I should throw them away and build a whole structure in my wall. I thought that was a little crazy. I'm not going to just throw money away. They could hold the weight. They just, needed a little extra stability. So, yeah. The hair algae in this tank is significantly going away. That's a lot better now. The snails are all coming out a lot more. So I feel like this tank's ugly phase is starting to subside, which is great. The hob was making a weird sound. It had a lot of gunk in it. I totally broke that down, cleaned it out. Nice and silent now. I did the same thing with the one down here. One of the changes we made here, let me sit in the chair, see if I can get a good shot. We added a couple sponge filters to this, and here's why. We've realized that the hobs are really hard to service on the bottom row. So I figured maybe we could run sponge filters on the bottom, move the hob over to get some of these set up. So I'm trying to seed these big sponge filters with the hob. I'm not sure if the sponge filters are going to be enough to filter the tank completely. I guess we're going to find out. I've seen a lot of people do it online with just sponge filters, and it seemed to, work fine. I never thought a sponge filter was enough filter to do a whole tank, but I think I was wrong because I see a lot of people doing it online. So that's our plan. Pull that hob off. Once these sponge filters are seated, move it over to one of these to get the flower horn out of the big tank, because that flower horn is a pain. Another fun thing is with the fish room is we added some live plants to the ceiling, and we're trying to vine them out. We're going to try to vine them around the tanks, which I thought was a really cool idea. It'll make the fish room look fun. It's hard to see that one. We'll see when we get over there. And there's this local plant store that just opened, and we told them our plan, and we go there, and they just give us fun plants that'll vine really well. This one's doing really good. When it gets over here, we're just going to kind of wrap it and try to help it along around the tops and whatnot. I thought that would be really cool. Let's cruise over the goldfish tank. The bucket's down there because I just watered this one today. You got to water them like once every 1 to 2 weeks. And most of them are puffus, but I don't think they all are. The goldfish are doing great. Yeah, they're getting a lot bigger. This is one of the easiest tanks right now by far. So easy. They're much smaller, they're small compared to the size of this tank, so the nitrates run real low. They're really easy peasy. This is probably one of the easiest tanks to tend or maintenance take care of right now. Loving it. Not much to say about this one. Not much is going to change here. We're just letting them grow. Oh, and I did forget to mention, back to the 75 over there. We bought a tire track and a zigzag eel, and they're in there. They're just kind of hiding in that PVC. I didn't realize there was a difference between the two, and I bought both when I saw them at the pet store, and then I realized there's one called a zigzag that only gets like 8 inches. I always thought that was slang for a tire track eel. The tire track, hoping grows pretty fast, and we can move him into the big tank. This 55 is the same. We just have the tiger silver dollars in here and the blue angel. Nothing new has changed in this tank. All of the tanks, I did add these little thermometer stickers. I know those are kind of old school, but I kind of like them. They seem to work pretty well. Just so I can keep an eye on the temp. Nothing's changed here. We're just waiting for those guys to grow out to move them to the big tank. Salt water. Pulsing Xenia is still going crazy. Black Domino Damsel is still a bully. Royal Grama still never comes out, hides in the corner. I got a little 20-ounce bottle. I'm going to try to make a fish trap and get that guy out of there. I know we're looking at nothing because he hides back there. You can't see him. I want to move him over to the 75. I feel like he won't be stressed out by a bully like this guy. He'll have tons of room. Besides that, the Pulsing Xenia is doing wicked good. It is finally touching the green star polyp. Nothing seems to be happening bad, at least, so that's cool. Our Harlequin shrimp in here. We just fed him a chocolate chip starfish. Hey, there's the Royal Grama, see him? He's just so terrified all the time, he just hides back there. Want to try to get him out, move him to the 75. I've recently removed tons of plants from the planted tank. It was practically no light at all again because of how thick the frog bits got. We did have some eggs recently. They were right there on that leaf. They're gone. Let's see. I don't see any free swimming fry, so. All the catfish in here are doing really good. The 2 mating pairs are doing good. They just lay the eggs, but none of them ever survive. There's a pair. And there's a pair. This black one's hard to see. He actually messed up his lip fighting someone. One day, those free swimming fry will survive. Till then, I really enjoy this tank. I don't have much plans for this besides trying to get some red plants. I thought that would look awesome. Recently, I saw some red root floaters, I think they were called. They were just like the frog bits, but red. And Ludwigia, I think, also comes in a red variant, or maybe it always is red, I'm not sure. I want to add some red in here. I think that would look awesome. CO2's low, I need to make more. But besides adding red, I don't have much plans for this right now. And then there's the big tank. So I have a lot of plans for this tank. We actually want to rework the stock. The stock that we originally had in here died, and then we kind of impulsively put this stock together based on what someone had in stock at their shop. It wasn't exactly what we wanted. In fact, I hadn't heard of most of the fish, but it was just like an impulse stock. Now that they're growing out a little, we decided let's try to stock it with what we actually want and move some fish around. So I'll go over each fish and tell you what I want to keep and not keep, actually. The Dalhousie Bashir, he's growing real good. We want to keep him. He's really cool. Our Oscar BV, we've had him forever. We want to keep him in there too. This Vieja Melanera, he's becoming increasingly aggressive. Not crazy aggressive, but aggressive. He's constantly, squaring off with someone. We want to sell him. I have him on sale. I have him on a thread on MFK, $50. I think that's fair. He's almost 8 inches. I've seen him way smaller for around that price. So we want to sell the Melanera. The Creamsicle Red Devil, we have him up. We're willing to get rid of him for $50. We want to sell him too. He doesn't really cause many problems aggression-wise. He just wasn't part of our planned stock, He's a beautiful fish. Just wasn't in our plans. So these guys, Dahlia the flower horn, which I'm pretty positive is female, and that Vieja fenestratus right there that just bolted, pink face. Pretty sure that's the male. They've paired off. They are constantly trying to chase people off that are in this hole that they've dug. I bury this line when I do water changes. This pain in the whatever fish right here, see him digging right now? He digs it up within 60 minutes. That's why we're moving him to his own tank. He's a pain. They've laid eggs a couple times, these two, but they never survive. The fenestratus, we're willing to let go for 50. The flower horn, we don't want to get rid of her. Gorgeous fish. We're just going to put her in her own tank, one of the 75s. So, cruising around. Gargar, we want to keep him. The Bleakery cichlid, Starry Night, we called him Cosmo. We want to keep him too. That black belt, we want to rehome him or find someone that wants to buy him too. $50 is what we're looking to get for him. Again, gorgeous fish, just not part of our plan. There's nothing wrong with any of these fish, just not exactly what we wanted. The fire eel, Slick, we definitely want to keep him. That Argentia, he's getting big too. We're trying to get 75 for him. They seem a little more sought after out of the Central American cichlids. We want to rehome him too. Out of the cats, Bissell, he's our tiger shovel-nosed Acara. Man, is he getting big. We would like to find someone that's, has a setup proper for him. Don't get me wrong, he's okay in here, but I feel like he might get a little too big for the 560. We're looking to get 250 for him. And Socks, the giraffe-nosed cat, we'd like to keep him. So that being said, we're trying to move all the Central Americans out, the tiger shovel-nosed Acara hybrid, and the creamsicle red devil. In place, we'd like to get a few more, maybe 2 Bashirs. Maybe the Congenus one, I think it's called, one of the biggest ones, if not the biggest. Maybe another Ornate, because we used to have an Ornate that we loved. So maybe 1 or 2 more Bashirs for the bottom. A tire track, depending on if that one grows out at a suitable speed, or sometimes they don't survive. Either way, for the bottom, we'd like to add 1 or 2 more Bashirs with the Delhaize and a tire track with the fire eel. For the mid column, we'd like to add a couple peacock bass that would roam the mid column with the Oscar and the Bleakery. Probably some of the smaller varieties, a mono, maybe a spider kelberry and azul, or maybe 1 of each. That would be awesome. And for the top, with the gar, we'd like to add either a silver or a Giardini arowana. I think there's some restrictions on Giardinis. But yeah, that's our plans for this. So for the top, that would be the arowana and the gar. For the bottom, a couple Bashir, the fire eel and the tire track eel, and for the mid, a couple peacock bass and the Oscar. And then if these guys ever get big enough in the 55, the tiger silver dollars, they would go in there too. But that's our plans. I don't know, anyone watching, if anyone knows anyone that likes to trade, looking for fish, whatever, feel free to post in the comments, or even if you have any suggestions, or opinions on the stock. I'd love to hear them. Always like to interact with other fish keepers. So anyhow, sorry that it took so long to get this update up and I missed that first day of the month, but life happens. And there's Boots. And we will be right back on track starting next month on the 1st, hopefully back on our schedule. And I hope everyone out there is doing great. And as always, feel free to leave any comments, questions. I love to read them. I'll always respond. Hope everyone has a great rest of this month. All right, bye-bye.